Imagine the chaos if, suddenly, gold, the backbone of global economies, were to vanish from the world. In an instant, the metal that symbolizes power, wealth, and security disappears, leaving governments, markets, and civilizations in shock. What would become of our global economy? How would societies and cultures react to the loss of one of humanity's oldest pillars? Today, we explore the devastating and unexpected consequences of a world where all gold vanishes, from the collapse of markets to the transformation of our traditions and values. Gold has been the foundation of many economies throughout history. Although the gold standard has been abandoned, it still plays a crucial role as a store of value. Countries like the United States and Germany maintain massive gold reserves to ensure economic stability and confidence in their currencies. The sudden disappearance of all gold would force these nations to seek immediate alternatives, such as increasing their reserves of foreign currency or government bonds, but these solutions would likely be insufficient to fill the void left by gold. The immediate impact on financial markets would be catastrophic. Gold is viewed as a safe asset in times of crisis, and its absence would create widespread panic. Investors would scramble to find secure alternatives, resulting in unprecedented volatility across global markets. The absence of a reliable asset like gold could trigger a crisis of confidence in currencies, especially in nations that heavily rely on their gold reserves to maintain economic stability. Inflation would also become a critical issue. Without gold to serve as a hedge against inflation, governments might resort to printing more money, exacerbating the problem. Weaker economies, like Zimbabwe, which recently attempted to re-establish a form of the gold standard, would be particularly vulnerable. The loss of gold could lead to a sharp devaluation of currencies, triggering hyperinflation in some regions. The economic impact would extend to international trade relations. Gold plays a fundamental role in trade exchanges, particularly in countries that export large quantities of precious metals. South Africa, for example, one of the world's largest gold producers, would lose a vital source of revenue, leading to severe economic and social crises, potentially sparking conflicts and political instability. Finally, central banks would face an unprecedented challenge. They would have to completely rethink their reserve strategies and efforts to stabilize economies. Global financial markets would need to adapt swiftly to this new reality, and the transition would be anything but smooth. Confidence, a critical pillar of market functionality, would be tested as never before, and the effects could last for decades. The electronics industry would be among the first to feel the impact of gold's disappearance. This precious metal is widely used in electronic components due to its excellent electrical conductivity and resistance to corrosion. Without gold, manufacturing products like smartphones, computers, and medical devices would face significant challenges. Substitutes like silver or copper could be used, but none possess the ideal properties that gold offers. This could lead to decreased efficiency in electronic devices and a significant increase in production costs. The jewelry industry, one of the oldest industries dependent on gold, would face an uncertain future. Gold is synonymous with luxury and status in many cultures, and its disappearance would force a drastic shift. Metals like platinum and palladium might attempt to fill the void, but the cultural shift would be profound. Beyond the economic impact, we would lose a symbol of wealth and power that has been integral to human society for millennia. In international trade, the disappearance of gold would create a new dynamic. Nations that rely on gold exports, such as South Africa, would lose a vital source of revenue, potentially leading to severe economic crises. These nations would be forced to diversify their economies rapidly, a process that could be painful and time-consuming. On the other hand, countries that import gold for various industries would face severe shortages, impacting production and exports on a global scale. Gold mining, which employs millions of people worldwide, would also collapse. Local economies dependent on mining would be devastated, and workers would have to seek new opportunities in an already saturated job market. The widespread loss of jobs could lead to social unrest and increased poverty in already vulnerable regions, further exacerbating the economic crisis. Moreover, the loss of gold would have significant implications for technological innovation. Gold is used in many emerging technologies, including space exploration and advanced medicine. Without it, research and development of new technologies could be significantly delayed, forcing scientists and engineers to find alternatives that, while functional, might not offer the same level of efficiency and durability. Gold is not just an economic resource, it holds deep symbolic value in many cultures around the world. In India, for example, gold is a central element in weddings and religious rituals, symbolizing purity, prosperity, and power. With the disappearance of gold, these traditions would be severely impacted. Communities would be forced to find alternatives that might not carry the same emotional and cultural significance, leading to a potential crisis of identity in many societies. Beyond traditions, gold has also been associated with royalty and power throughout history. From the crowns of European kings to the funerary masks of Egyptian pharaohs, gold is a symbol of authority and divinity. The disappearance of this precious metal would necessitate a redefinition of symbols of power in various cultures. New materials, perhaps more accessible and less ostentatious, might replace gold, drastically altering public perceptions of wealth and prestige. In the art world, gold plays a crucial role, both as a physical material and as a symbol of wealth and spirituality. Artworks, from gilded religious icons to contemporary sculptures, would be drastically altered if gold disappeared. Artists would have to adapt, possibly turning to other materials that lack the same luster and durability as gold, leading to unpredictable changes in the aesthetics and value of artworks. Cultural tourism would also suffer. Many of the historical artifacts that attract tourists around the world, such as the treasures of the pharaohs in Egypt or the riches of the Aztec emperors, would lose much of their allure without gold. Museums and heritage sites would need to reinvent themselves, possibly focusing more on historical narratives and less on the sparkle and glamour that gold provides. This could impact the economy of many countries that heavily rely on tourism to sustain their economies. Finally, the collective psychology surrounding value and scarcity would be challenged. Society would need to re-evaluate what it considers valuable, perhaps shifting towards digital assets or other natural resources as symbols of wealth. This shift would be not only economic but also cultural and philosophical, leading to a profound transformation in how we perceive and attribute value. With the disappearance of gold, cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, could emerge as the new store of value in a world seeking security. Although Bitcoin is often referred to as digital gold due to its scarcity and potential as a safe asset, its volatility remains a concern for many investors. However, in a scenario where gold simply vanishes, the lack of secure alternatives could drastically increase demand for cryptocurrencies, driving up their value but also exacerbating market volatility. Other substitutes for gold, such as government bonds and commodities like oil, could also gain prominence. However, these assets do not offer the unique combination of stability, durability, and intrinsic value that gold provides. This would create a new dynamic in global financial markets, where confidence in assets and in governments' ability to manage economic crises would be tested like never before. The transition to these new assets would not be simple. The global financial infrastructure would have to adapt quickly to accommodate a new kind of store of value, particularly concerning cryptocurrencies. Government regulations, digital security, and widespread acceptance would be enormous challenges to overcome. While the potential for innovation is great, the journey toward a new form of economic stability would be fraught with obstacles and uncertainties. Beyond cryptocurrencies, other tangible assets might begin to be viewed as stores of value. Metals like silver and platinum, which already play significant roles in industry, could see an increase in demand. However, these metals also have their limitations and cannot fully replace gold in all its applications. This would force even greater diversification of assets considered safe, with each region of the world potentially developing its own preferences and standards. Ultimately, the disappearance of gold would necessitate a fundamental re-evaluation of global economic and financial systems. Confidence, an essential pillar for the functioning of markets, would be tested like never before. As the world adapts to the absence of gold, it could emerge with new forms of wealth and power, but the journey would be full of challenges and uncertainties, leaving an indelible mark on the history of humanity. Imagine the visually devastating impact if the electronic devices we use daily, such as smartphones and computers, began to fail and deteriorate due to the absence of gold. Vital connectors and circuits made with gold would cease to function, and the reliability of these devices, dependent on gold's durability, would become a distant memory. In space missions, where precision is everything, the lack of gold would cause catastrophic failures. Satellites would be lost in space, spacecraft would cease to operate, and space exploration would suffer massive setbacks. The protection that gold offers against radiation would be lost, exposing equipment to the hostile environment of space and compromising global communications and world security. Luxury watches and jewelry, valued for both their design and the durability that gold provides, would begin to crumble. These symbols of status and wealth would become fragile and vulnerable to corrosion, quickly losing their beauty and value, transforming into faded, lifeless relics. In art galleries and museums, the effect would be equally devastating. Masterpieces adorned with gold leaf would begin to disintegrate before the eyes of visitors. The loss of gold would mean not only the destruction of valuable artworks but also the loss of tangible connections to our cultural and historical heritage. Finally, imagine the chaos of security systems that protect sensitive data and critical infrastructure began to fail. Without gold, which is essential in high-security electronic components, vaults, banking systems, and even national security networks would become vulnerable to attacks. Trust in what was once secure would be shattered, leading to a new era of uncertainties and fears. The disappearance of gold would bring about a global collapse, not just economically, but also culturally and technologically. From failures in essential electronic devices to the disintegration of cultural relics and priceless works of art, the impact would be profound and irreversible. Societies would be forced to confront a world where trust in technology, security, and even cultural heritage is at risk. This hypothetical scenario challenges us to reflect on the fragility of the systems and symbols we consider permanent. Imagining a world without gold forces us to think about what truly gives value to the things we possess and the traditions we follow. Share your thoughts in the comments below on how humanity might adapt to such a drastic change. And don't forget to subscribe to keep exploring the greatest mysteries and scenarios of the universe with us.